Good afternoon, guys, and welcome back to Bald Father Bets. Do a quick recap of Thursday night football, give our plays for the Friday night conference championship games tonight, and then a few early plays that we made on the conference championship games tomorrow. I should be able to make a video tomorrow. I am going to the game, Hook'em, in Atlanta for SEC championship, but I should be able to get you guys a video early tomorrow morning with anything that we don't play tonight. First, though, please double check, make sure you are subscribed to the channel, notifications on, and support our channel. All you have to do is give us a subscribe, like the video, comment, and then share this video around to your friends. Steal your friends' phones, subscribe them to the channel, steal your mom's phone, subscribe her to the channel. They won't even know. It won't hurt them, so they won't even know. But we'll grow our community here. We'll get out to more people, and then one day they'll be subscribed, a video will pop up, and they'll be like, oh, who's this bald genius, this beautiful bald man that I want to follow? And we can help grow our community. So quick recap, Thursday night football, we had the Lions -3. Obviously that's a push. It was nice to just not lose after the previous 10 days, I would say. Obviously still had a really good year. But my goodness, some of these beats that we had the past 10 days were terrible. So yeah, I got a little worried there when looking like the Lions defense couldn't do anything, and I think Dan Campbell knew that too. I mean, they really tried, gave it maximum effort, but by the end of that game, depth was down. I mean, not only are you missing half your defensive starters, but then on the second play, you lose Aleem McNeil, who's one of the best defensive tackles in the NFL right now. And so it's like, okay, now you literally only have like the secondary and one linebacker. Like all of their 6 front 7 are gone outside of Jack Campbell. So it was tough. But they held on. Lions got the win. Want to point out as we move into tonight how important shopping around lines is. If you had the Lions, you either got a push or a loss last night. Because you could either get a 3 or a 3.5. And if you had the Packers, you either got a win or a push last night. So you had that 3 available, you had that 3.5 available, and depending on which way you went, it's really important that you make sure you get on the right side of those things. So moving into tonight, that's going to be really important. So we are going to be taking Jacksonville State. We are taking it at -3.5. You can get that line all the way between Jacksonville State -3.5 or all the way up to Western Kentucky +4.5. So depending on which way you're going, if you're going with us, make sure you get the 3.5. If you're going against us, make sure you get the +4.5. Maybe we can all middle at the 4 number. We're taking Jacksonville State. We're taking a -3.5 for 2 units. This is a rematch of a game that happened last weekend. Western Kentucky won. I like the chances of Rich Rod getting a victory in a second-hand matchup. Game was literally just played last weekend. Lots of mistakes from either side. I like this Jacksonville State unit really ever since Rich Rod went there. I like their toughness. I like how they play, and think that they'll get it done tonight. Then in our games that are going off at the same time after that, we are taking Tulane. We are laying the 4 with Tulane. You can get Tulane -4. You can get Army all the way up to +5.5. So again, make sure you're shopping around the line, make sure you're getting the best one you can. We're doing that one for 2 units as well. Just think, with Bryson Daly not 100%, it really limits what Army is able to do. I think Tulane is the most talented Group of 5 team. Obviously, that didn't do them well against Memphis last weekend. They have ended their chances of making the college football playoff with that loss, but think that they will win the conference today. Think they're a superior team to Army. Understand the public love for Army. 11-1 Service Academy team is always going to get some public love, but just think that they're too much for this Army team. And then lastly, in what is essentially a de facto semifinal to the college football playoff, winner gets in. UNLV versus Boise State. We are taking UNLV plus the 5.5, and you can get that all the way to Boise State -3.5, all the way up to UNLV plus 5.5. So again, make sure you are shopping your lines. UNLV plus 5.5, it's just too many points. I actually think UNLV will win the game outright, but at plus 5.5, I'm pretty confident that they get a cover. Boise State's really beat up. Genty's really beat up. UNLV, you could argue, probably should have won the game that they played in Las Vegas in the Dome. The thing that gives me pause here is the game is at Boise. It's very cold there. UNLV is a Las Vegas Dome team. But I still like their chances to get the cover and get the win. So UNLV plus the 5.5. That one is also for 2 units. So that's it for Friday night for the conference championship games. A few things that we've already played for tomorrow. Clemson plus the 3 for 2 units against SMU. I think Clemson will actually win that game outright. SMU has played one of the easiest schedules in all of college football. Clemson has a much superior roster. This is kind of Clemson's last stand. Clemson had like the 26th ranked recruiting class. They're not using the transfer portal. They're on every day. Clemson was better the previous day. I think I think Josh Pate said that. It was a good line. I was like, oh yeah, that's true. I think Dabo may know this is kind of all coming to an end, especially after that loss to South Carolina last week. I like Clemson's chances here to get a win against an SMU team that will just not be near as physical as them on the line of scrimmage. So yeah, Clemson plus the 3, doing that one for 2 units. And then also the other night game tomorrow night, we are taking Penn State plus the 4 for 3 units. You got to shop this one around as well. It's at 3.5 and it's also at 4. But we like Penn State plus the 4. We like them for 3 units. I also think they will win outright against Oregon. 2 time zone travel for Oregon. Too much on the defensive line for Penn State. They get pressure on so many percent of opposing teams' dropbacks. And from a defensive side of Oregon, I'm not sure that they're all that great at stopping the run. And I think Singletary and Allen will be able to get a lot of yards on the ground. And then the other thing that is not being talked about in this matchup, Penn State has the quarterback advantage. I will argue this with people all day long, and I'll let the NFL ultimately be the deciding factor. Drew Aller is a first-round NFL quarterback. Dylan Gabriel is in college for a 6th year for a reason, and that's because he knows what his NFL draft stock is. Aller is the superior quarterback. He has the superior arm. Where Oregon has the huge advantage is the weapons on the outside. Penn State has no wide receivers. They're terrible, but they do have a tight end. They have probably the best tight end in the country. But I just don't know if they're going to need it all that much. I think it's going to be a super low-scoring game, and I think their ability to run the ball will prove big here. And if they don't win, and James Franklin's all over himself, we still have the plus 4. So that's why I like that one. Don't have a play on the other games on the morning or the afternoon game. Leans so far, but still monitoring line movement. Still having quite a bit of line movement in some of those games, especially Iowa State. Iowa State was a -1, went all the way to Arizona State -3. Now it's back down to Arizona State -1.5 at a lot of places. A lot of line movement there. Texas has stretched all the way out from Texas -1 all the way to Texas -3. And then in the morning, there's the MAC championship, Miami of Ohio. That's all the way down to -2.5. So lots of line movement in these conference championship games this week. So things that we're going to monitor into tomorrow. But that's it. Everyone have a great Friday night. Enjoy the conference championship games, especially the Mountain West one for that de facto playoff game. And I will come at you guys tomorrow before I head out for Atlanta for the SEC championship. Thank you again for supporting the channel. Please help us grow our community, like, share, comment, and get this around to as many of your friends as possible. Hook 'em.